Hey everyone, this is Nitro. In this video, I'm going to clear the 4th plot battle of the Reichenbach Veil of Conspiracy event, A Case of Identity. This is the home of that opera star? I figured people like that would live somewhere more fancy. I didn't expect it to be a humble neighborhood like this. This is pretty fancy compared to the cave under a bridge where I used to live. Let's not mention your old residence. It's strange for a star of her status to live in a place like this. The theater ought to arrange better accommodation for her. Is this the wrong address? It can't be. The military obtained the guest's address from the police earlier. The star definitely lives here. Well, let's knock on the door and find out. Knock, knock, knock. Who is it? Your loyal fans. That voice. You're the detective who hasn't even seen any of my performances and is just trying to get close to me. I'm so glad that you have such a vivid impression of me. Now I'm afraid we'll have to come in for a moment. Wait a second. I need to get ready. Let me get changed. Just wait a moment. Now, what do you need? It's rude to disturb a lady's rest after such a terrible event. Simply put, we're tracking down the professor's murderer, and we hope you can provide some clues. For example, do you go backstage at all during the banquet? And why would someone like you, who has no connection to the professor at all, come to this banquet? Do you suspect me of murder? How can this possibly be? Sob, 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 sob. Barging in the private residence of such a lovely woman in the middle of the night. You really are awful. Why are you speaking for her? Have you forgotten why you followed us? Sorry, I'm afraid I'll have to ask you again, detective. It's fine. I didn't expect you to get any answers here. Before we start piecing together the clues, I have a question out of personal curiosity. As a revered opera star, wouldn't living in such a common neighborhood like this be quite inconvenient for you? Inconvenient? What do you mean? Your fanatical fans are always hounding you. Can you really be sure that you won't be harassed in a house with no garden and no security guards? You're wrong. My fans are very sensible. Besides, I'm very careful. It's no problem at all. Oh, I see. Well then, let's get to business. I'm going to recall the clues we found at the scene and find a way to connect you to the murder. How can you be so straightforward? Am I your prime suspect? That conversation convinced me that this lady is hiding a secret. But is this secret related to the case? She's a big star, but that's no excuse to exempt her from investigation. I just can't see how she could be the murderer. I think so too. Cute girls never do bad things. Can't you two just be quiet for a while? Okay, so now I'm gonna keep in mind that the detective actually has 2 range, unlike the last battle. Once again though, you're just attacking them. Oh, headless chicken? Really? Whatever. She just killed herself. Alright, why don't I drop a dummy? To keep her attention for now. She's gonna come over, attack the dummy. And I am going to have to defeat her. Maybe I'll just wait. Because I need to heal up a bitch. Alright, so let's enter, self-destruct against the maid, and stun her with hypnosis. And then I can quickly finish her off. There we go. Social status can be used as a reference in the case, but not as proof to directly rule out suspicion. Besides, I remember a clear clue showing that she had indeed been backstage. I just read the professor's new book and really liked it, so I wanted to ask him to sign it for me. Okay, so what does she have? Sing, celebrity scandal, and basic steps? Okay, whatever. Let's just drop another dummy. She doesn't even attack. So I'll take the first step. Celebrity scandal. Right. Stun. And then explosion. And then here's Gizarov's body. Inspect. Right, she did have the professor's new book, Asteroid Physics, at the start of the banquet, and then the book went missing. Oh, on the chest of the corpse. It was that Asteroid Physics. Mixed in with the strong smell of blood, there was a hint of perfume, just like the same smell on that star. But the creases left by the knife upon the book were unusual. You rushed to the star's house to inspect her perfume? That's your clue? You could have solved that without coming here, couldn't you? Fortunately, it's only the world of my mind. I can beat up an officer here without any consequences. Man, really? Alright, just keep summoning dummies, I suppose. And attacking. Explosion! And finish her. Of course, I solved the clues available here as soon as I stepped into this room. The ash left by the socialite on stage shows signs of being trodden in, and the footprint matched that of the star's shoe. You thought I came here to smell a woman's perfume? Don't try guessing my motives with your brain. It's filled with nothing but waste. So, it's a hard fact that you went backstage. Can you explain what you did? Okay, I'll spit it out. I went there, but I just wanted the professor's autograph. You were at the banquet. You knew I couldn't get an autograph there, so I went backstage. But why did you leave the book there? Normally people would keep an autographed book, right? That's right. You should take it home and frame it. The professor asked me to leave the book with him and go fetch it after the banquet, so... What? You don't want to talk? Then listen to my analysis. Judging from your identity and your past, you have no experience with the likes of the professor. I knew the professor well. It must have been him who involved you in this, right? I'll carry on if you have no objections. A celebrity like you with no actual power or influence was like a little lamb in the professor's eyes. He must have wanted to get something from you in a disgraceful way. Violence, intimidation, fraud? No, these are not in line with the professor's twisted and evil aesthetics. So he must have learned about your secret. It seems I'm right again. In this case, the book being left behind makes sense. Today's banquet was an excellent occasion to cover up your dealings. You must have hidden something in that book. What could be hidden in the book? A document? A check? A photo? Or negative? Enough! I've had enough! You came to my house late at night to talk nonsense. Get out of here! The secret is... she's a he! Even chased out the door. The strange things that the detective said really are infuriating. How could the professor turn out to be someone like that? You must have made a mistake. but judging from her animated reaction, I think you might have touched on the truth. So, do you think she could be the murderer? If you insist on asking me now, my answer is still the same. I cannot be sure. The case is strange. There simply aren't enough solid facts. The killer must be someone very intelligent. But she probably isn't the murderer, right? A frail little girl like her could never do something so terrible. Frail little girl? Haha. Well, our time is limited. Let's move on to our next investigation target. Why did you say frail little girl? Don't just leave the line thinking... Don't just leave your line of thinking half finished. Hey, stop! Explain! Okay. Next location will be the Black Cathedral. So, we'll see how that turns out. In the detective's notes, they added a few more points, right? The opera star has been updated a bit. There are a number of unusual things about this star. Perhaps she is hiding a secret. And then the ash from the stage now has the shoes of the opera star match the footprints left in the ash backstage. It looks like they are the opera star's footprints. And then the book now has additional information, right? The book was pinned to the chest of the body. It's the same copy as the opera star was bringing, and blah 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 blah, right? Okay. So, let's see what happens next. But that is it for now. Thanks for watching, everyone. Nitro out.